Going on to the next presentation, we have Josua Stuckelberger from Laplace. He's presenting the newest features and performance of Laplace equipment and their turnkey solution for high efficiency solar cells. Joshua, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for this kind introduction. Let me see if it works like this. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, thank you very much. And I'm happy to be here talking in place of Laplace, who is a high-end equipment manufacturer and turnkey solution provider for the photovoltaic and semiconductor industries. And today I want to talk to you about our newest equipment and our turnkey solution for TOPCon technology. So Laplace is manufacturing currently the high throughput tri-tools for the industry, and I want to introduce them to you today. And also I want to show you what new features we have in our equipment, especially on the double loading for back-to-back processing, and also for the quartz tube inside coating that enhances the lifetime and significantly lowers the COO of the systems. And I would also like to show to you our proprietary Laplace automation systems, which has the highest performance. Additionally, I would like to show to you our Laplace turnkey solution today, which includes all aspects of the cell fab, really taking you from day one until you're happy to run your turnkey completely autonomously, including long-term support to also include potential new technology upgrades. So what is Laplace? We are founded in 2016 in Shenzhen, China, and we are now currently almost 4,000 employees. And we are really dedicated to R&D with over 400 people working to improve the tools and to stay at the cutting edge of the technology. We were pioneers of the TOPCon mass production, so we grow with the TOPCon movement by being the first to introduce B3, for example, and also to do the LPCVD possible. We have now extensive experience with over 200 gigawatts of equipment delivered, mainly for TOPCon, but also for IBCs or for PERC. And we have currently about 26 gigawatt outside of China. And our biggest project is a 30 gigawatt, which is, I must say, quite impressive to see once. And with all this extensive, with 200 gigawatts installed equipment, we have extensive experience and over 1,200 people in our support, being on customer side and keeping this cutting edge performance. Even though perhaps you have not heard of Laplace so far, I'm sure you have heard of our customers, being it Longi that we just heard before, or Jinko, IcoSolar, and many more. Laplace, as being based in China, is also main market, but we also have now offices in Malaysia, Vietnam, or in Europe with Greece and France, and also in the US, in California, in the Silicon Valley. I'm very proud of that our customers were able to achieve already 15 world records using our equipment, including the newest one with 26.89% of TOPCon. And I think it really shows that we are on the cutting edge of the technology with Laplace, and that you can have high performing cells with our equipment. Laplace provides the full automation for our own, but also for third-party equipment. And while our own tools are mainly diffusion, oxidation, LPCVD, PCVD, ALD, laser, so all the dry process equipment, we still do also automation for the third parties like wet tools. And we also provide turnkey solutions for high efficiency solar cells. We have demonstrated that we have unique capabilities in first pushing for the TOPCon. We believed in this technology, and we were pioneering from BBR3 to BCL3 as a gas, which gave a cost reduction of around 70%. We pushed the LPC performance while using horizontal wafer placements, which gave us a big advantage in homogeneity. And there's also process control. And we also increased the quartz lifetime through a proprietary coated quartz tube, which reduced also the COO and the maintenance costs. And our unique automation has the best throughput in the market. And thanks to that we provide automation for all the systems in a turnkey line, we can really reduce the breakage rate and improve the yield of a full turnkey solution. And all the processes are optimized to have an ideal interplay between systems so that we have the highest final performance. So as mentioned, our tools, we are the heat treatment. We have over 450 machines delivered for boron diffusion and over 350 machines for phosphorus. Then we have deposition tools where we have LPCVD with over 50 machines delivered. And here I'm also quite proud to say that so far the only tools that XPC is produced on. And for ALD or PCVD, we have over 500 machines delivered. Our automation, we have over 800 machines, and we also have lasers for all the different variety or the different processes in different process flows in the line. When we look now at our new generation of tools where we go for double loading, so meaning we can do a back-to-back loading of our LPCVD or of our diffusion tools. This was introduced last year, and we could double the throughput thanks to that to over 7,900 pieces per hour, which is the highest in the field, and it's already running in the mass production. What we faced as a challenge here was that when you do a back-to-back, after the phosphorus diffusion, you convert your BSG to a phosphorus borosilica glass compound. And this one has a much higher etch rate compared to the BSG, what we're using as a masking layer. So when introducing this double loading technique, we first had to think of, okay, can we do a masking layer? But a masking layer, as you can imagine, that adds process steps, adds costs. It's very non-optimal. So we talked to the wet chemistry colleagues, and we were able to do by changing the additives that our PBSG can still remain as our masking layer, and we could introduce our double loading technique without any additional step or change in the process flow. So we could just change on the chemistry side a bit, plus the tools to do double loading, and we had the double throughput. And we also additionally increased the tool efficiency. So when we had on Gen 4, we had 400 wafers per tube. Now with Gen 5, we are with 2,880 wafers per tube. And this together with the double loading gave us a huge reduction of costs, especially if you compare it with PCVD, as you can see here with the COO. We can already by single loading with the 5th generation, we are at the same level as PCVD deposition. Well, when we add now the double loading, then we end up by almost a factor of 2 lower than PCVD in terms of costs. And over here, you can also see that we have already installed this into the industry. So most of our customers that had already a single loading tool, they wanted the upgrade. And the new tool is, of course, more on the double loading. So you can see we have already 88.5 gigawatts running now on this double loading technique, and another 52 gigawatts that are ramping up, while there are still 53 gigawatts running on single loading. And as mentioned, we also developed pre-coating of our quartz tubes. And you can see here what's happening on a tube after about 3 months that is uncoated. While if you use this nanocrystallization technology, we get a much longer lifetime to over 6 or 9 months of the quartz tube, so more than doubled. And this, of course, reduces drastically the costs. Interestingly, we also have seen a higher efficiency in the cells in such tools, which is mainly, again, through to a better process control. If you look at the automation, we have the highest automation, the highest throughput in the industry, and they are compatible with third-party tools. We can go for wafer size from 180 up to 210, and wafer thickness down to 120. And here I just say there is a typo. This should be micrometer, of course. And on the diffusion automation, for example, we have about 12,000 pieces per hour for an N10 wafer, whereas for G12, this is above 10,000 pieces per hour. The uptime of the system is over 99%, and we have a wafer breakage rate below 0.02 or 0.03 for G12. And the mean time between the failures is above 400 hours, so it's really running smoothly the whole time. We also introduced now since last year a half slice automation. So for customers that don't want to do the slicing of the cells at the end of the line, they can start already with half slices or half wafers, and they run in parallel. And you can see that the capacity in terms of gigawatt output is almost the same, so almost double the capacity in terms of pieces per hour, and with only a very slightly higher breakage rate. And here, as an example, for a third-party automation tool, you can see this one is for the texturing, loading and unloading. Here we have over 16,000 pieces per hour for the M10 and over 15,000 pieces per hour for the G12, with an extremely low breakage rate of only below 0.01% for the M10 wafers. Now, let's see on the top Laplace turnkey solution. And here, as mentioned before, for us, it's really, we want to help and support you from day one and not leave the factory until you're satisfied and can run the fab autonomously. So in the planning, we have extensive experience in all the fabs in China. So we have a lot of realistic numbers to help you with your feed utilization metrics, to get an extended build of metrics, to help you with the head counts. How do you have to adjust it with the local environment? We can help you with throughput numbers that are not just on the paper. Yeah, this is the throughput that you can do, but what does it mean when you take into account the overall equipment effectiveness, the bricklayers' hours, so that you really get in the end a picture in the planning of what do we really get out in the end of our production line. And of course, we can give you a state-of-the-art process flow that is adjusted until the end with our newest development and the throughput that we can get throughout the whole planning process until the end. Here you can see also a bit our different optimized layouts. So we can do from what is common in China standard, I would say this, the line shape, but also like U-shape, depend if you have a restriction on the length, or then cluster shapes if you have other restrictions, like for example, that wet tools should be on one side of the building, and etc. And for us, it's really, we want to propose the best solution with a vision that you can still improve it in the future when new technologies come up. In terms of equipment, we are not an equipment provider for all the tools that run in the turnkey. We believe we want to have the best tools for each of the parts. Our core equipment are the dry tools. Here we believe we are at the top and we can really provide you with the best tools, including automation and lasers. But we work with high-performing third-party manufacturers for the wet process, for example, the metallization, the HEVs, and for all the characterization inside, where we can also include, for example, lab tools or samplings so that you can do small R&D activities within the turnkey line. And in the setup, we have a very experienced team for the installation, the ramp up, and then the continuous improvements. Our proprietary process flow can guarantee the lowest cost of goods sold and the best-in-class cell performance. And we have a really good track record already and strong collaborations with our third-party equipment makers. It's not that it's always have to be the same, but we work with many of them, and as we provide for them automation, as we have very close collaboration with them to make sure that all the processes are well optimized on each other. And of course, we provide you with all the additional material like production material flow, best practice. And then this is something really important for us, that we have a Laplace guarantee, that we have a quantified high efficiency and a high gigawatt cell fab output in the end. And we support you from day one until the fab is running and your team is able to operate it by their own. We have an extended training program that really focuses on getting your team trained to be experts on the field and to be able to afterwards also improve the existing running line, because as we know, it's not staying still afterwards. The technology moving until you have your turnkey solution installed, the technology moved. So you want to have state of the art when you start running the equipment, and you want to have a team that is able to afterwards also bring this technology further and keep improving the efficiency. And with this is also our continuous knowledge sharing and for upgrades, so that you really can get the new technologies included in the turnkey solution. And of course, we have also a vision that TOPCon might not be the end. Afterwards, what we call TOPCon Plus, like with polysilicon fingers, or going for XPC cells. So you want to have the right tool set so that you can do this transition without big additional costs. And with this, I'm at the end with my summary. So we have a huge experience as being pioneers of the TOPCon or mass production. We continuously innovate with now, for example, a new double loading for LPCVD, which halves the COO in comparison with the PCVD. We have a proprietary coated quartz tube to increase the lifetime of all the quartz tubes. We work on the cutting edge of the technology. We want to be on state of the art. We want to be at the highest efficiencies, and our system is therefore also fully compatible for the implementation XPC cells, and we already have this successfully in operation. For our turnkey solutions, it really goes through the whole process where we can give you realistic conditions for all your numbers that you need and the state-of-the-art process flows. We work together with third-party equipment providers so that we have the best equipment for your solution and getting the highest performing. We then set it up with an experienced team, and we can support you on-site with knowledge transfer and continuous adaptation for upcoming technology so that you are ready to be competitive in market. And as our turnkey guarantee, we have a quantified high efficiency and high gigawatt output so that you can have your planning of what will be at the end, what you get out of your line. And with this, I'm at the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I'm happy to have any questions.
Thanks a lot, Joshua. It's very interesting. I think I have a few more questions, but I would reserve them for our panel discussion where we can discuss in detail. But I just want one clarification. So maybe I heard it correctly or not. So you were double-sided, the back-to-back, or to be specific, front-to-front loading. So this feature upgradable for your already installed LPCVD tools, or if someone want to buy, he has to buy a new tool?
Yes. So this is what most of our customers that have the single loading tubes have done now. So it's upgradable to go to a double loading and to back-to-back process. And yeah, most of the customers have done this already and are doing it like as we speak.
Great, thanks. So I think there are also a couple of questions on the chat window. Till we meet for
Sure.
the panel, please try to answer these questions so that I will
Sure.
move to the next presentation.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.